This program is proudly brought to you by the VAFA Live Official app. With live scores, team stats, player stats and much, much more. Everything you need for the VAFA in the palm of your hand. Download it from the App Store or Google Play now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Medajit and I'm from Complete Sports Management. Today we are at Melbourne University Oval for the Melbourne University versus St. Mary's game. St. Mary's have won the game with 11 points lead, and today I'm with my coach, Mr. Matthew. Hello, Mr. Matthew. How are you?
Look, pretty disappointed. We led that game for the best part of 3 quarters. It was just unfortunate that we got that 2-minute lapse in the last quarter. Hurt us a little bit. I'm more feeling for my girls who put in all that sort of hard effort but couldn't get in, couldn't get that win over the line. So we'll have a look back at that game footage and see what we can do for coming into the next week.
Well, yes, this game wasn't really according to the plans you had kept, but the first 3 quarters you dominated in the first match, but then in the final quarters, Marys were able to take away 2 goals and also were forcing you to go back in defence. What do you have to say about that?
Obviously we had our plan to dominate, try and dominate the stoppages and take the ball away from them. I thought our ball movement was really, really well today compared to other games. We just struggled to get it inside 50 and keep it inside 50 for that prolonged period of time. And then, unfortunately, a couple of lapses, in that defence in the last quarter gave them 2 goals. But I thought overall, I can't fault our girls' effort from siren 1 to the end of the game. They just ran it out, which is what I asked them to do. Unfortunately, disappointing that we couldn't get that win, but that's footy. We'll go back to the drawing board next week and prepare for our next game.
Well, that's good to hear. And unfortunately, since you couldn't do it for this round, what is your take for the next game and how do you look upon improving things?
We'll obviously just keep trying to continue around the stoppages like we are winning that. Probably do a little bit more ball movement and forward work this week. Obviously, try and get that structure up. But other than that, I think we'll try and keep to our own plans and moving forward and play them out like we try and did today. But unfortunately, just fell short. So we'll go back to the drawing board and keep our plans intact and maybe change a couple of player positions and see what happens.
Well, that's good to hear. Thank you so much, Matthew, and all the best for your next game. Over to Deep at St. Mary's. Thank you.
Thank you, Medajit. I have the head coach of St. Mary's with me, Coach Damien, and Jennifer Liu as well. Damien, your thoughts on the game? What do you think? How did the team play? Brilliant performance?
Look, we started pretty slowly, so Melbourne were on top in the first quarter and probably, if they had a kick straight, could have had a big lead going into the second half of the game. We got into the groove through the game, but Melbourne were pretty plucky and there was no easy kicks out there in the conditions, and they're a strong, good contested team. So it went down to the wire in the end, and just happy to get the 4 points against a pretty competitive Melbourne side.
So who were your standout performers for the team? We had a couple of players who were missing last time who've come back in.
Yeah, well, look, Steph Lawrence back from the Big V was terrific again. Jolly's a fairly sneaky forward for us. Wasn't able to probably hurt the scoreboard, but looks dangerous all the time. We talked about Emily. Emily is one of our defenders. We put her in a defensive role in the forward line in the last quarter and popped up with 2 goals, which makes the coach pretty happy. And of course, Jen, another amazing and outstanding game, and quite surprised that she hasn't been picked up by VFL sides at this stage, because I think that's 3 games in a row for us. Nearly 30 odd touches, so doing very well, obviously.
And Jen, like Damien said, you've had a really good game, touches on the game. Your thoughts?
I think sometimes I'm pretty lucky to get some of the touches. I think the team works really hard for each other. It's been a really lovely team. They've let me come in and been really welcoming, but they work really hard for each other around the ball. A lot of shepherding, a lot of bumping, especially today. It was such a slippery ball. It was hard to pick up off the ground, so we needed to work together to create the space to actually get it forward. So.
And any areas of improvement, Damien, before the next game against Fitzroy?
Oh, look, I'd probably say the same things each week, Depeche. We had a lot of inside 50s. I think the final stats were high 20s, maybe nearly 30, and we didn't kick our 2 goals probably to the last 3 or 4 inside 50s. So we've almost spent 25 inside 50s without a goal. We've got to convert better when we get it in there, and we're still working on that part of our game plan. But look, we're building, and just got to keep getting the 4 points each week.
Sure. Thank you, guys, and good luck for the next game. That's it from us at Complete Sport Management, where St. Mary's have beaten Melbourne University by 11 points at the Melbourne Uni Ground. See you next week. Thank you.
This has been another Complete Sports Management production.